How's it, grade 11? So we're going to continue from yesterday, which was reduction. We're working from slides 93 to 96 from the trigonometry PowerPoints. Okay, so we're going to finish off example 4. And it's A. Okay, so these are a little bit involved, more involved than what we did yesterday. But if we go through it nice and slowly, you'll see it's not too bad. So the question is, without using a calculator, evaluate the following. So we've got cos 70 times sine 150 plus cos 240 times cos 250 over sine 20. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to list which quadrants we have. So 70 is quadrant 1, 150 is quadrant 2, 240 is quadrant 3, 250 quadrant 3, and 20 quadrant 1. Okay, draw up our cast diagram. Okay, that one we are not going to reduce because it's in the first quadrant. It's acute, so we're happy with that. So that's cos 70. Sine in the second is positive, so that is sine. And then to reduce that 150, we say 180 minus the 150, and we get 30, plus cos in the third is negative. To reduce that, I say 240 minus 180, and we get 60. Cos in the third is negative. To reduce that, we say 250 minus 180, and we get 70 over sine 20. Okay, so we can see that we have special angles here. We've got 30 and we've got 60. Okay, so sine of 30. If I can draw my little triangles over here. So we have 60, 30, 1, 2, root 3. I'm not going to bother doing the 45 one because we don't have a 45 degree here. Okay, so sine of 30 is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, which is going to be a half. So we get a half cos 70. That gives us a half. The half times the cos 70 gives us cos 70. Half cos 70. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work up my signs here. Positive and a negative gives me a negative, times another negative gives me the positive. We have cos 60, so here's 60 degrees, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is a half. And we've got cos 70. Okay, all over sine 20. Now there's nothing I can do with the 70s and the 20s because they're not special angles, but we'll deal with them in a second. Okay, so in the numerator we have a half cos 70 plus a half cos 70 gives us 1 cos 70 over sine 20. Okay, so now what I want you to notice here, grade 11s, is if we look at the angles, 70 plus 20 gives us 90. Those are complementary angles, so that means we can use our co-functions or COCO. All right, now it doesn't really make a difference. I can change the top or I can change the bottom. I'm just going to change the top for now. So we know, for example, that 70 will be 90 minus 20. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do there. And we get cos 90 minus 20 all over sine 20. Okay, now as soon as I do this 90, this is COCO. So that means that this trig function is going to change. So that gives us cos will change to sine, and it's 20 degrees all over sine 20. Cancel, cancel, and you're left with 1. Okay, so not too bad. If we look at example B, okay, so example B is saying we've got 1 over root 3 sine minus 660 plus a half tan 405 cos squared 225 minus sine 55 over cos 145. Okay, yeah, I know it looks a bit hectic, but it's not too bad if we go through it baby steps. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try and reduce some of these angles and just help us out a bit. So I can see I've got a big negative angle here, so I'm going to add 360 to that until I get my very first positive angle. I've got an angle bigger than 360, so I'm going to subtract 360 from that. This one I'm not going to worry about just yet, that one and that one as well, because I want to sort out these ones first and then we can work out our quadrants. Okay, so let's do that first. So this would be equal to 1 over root 3 sine. Now to reduce that one, or not to reduce it, to get it into a positive angle, we say minus 660 plus 360. Still a negative angle, so I carry on adding 360 until I get my first positive angle. So that is 60 degrees plus a half tan. I'm going to do the same for this one. So 405 minus 360, and we get 45. Times by cos squared 225 minus sine 55 over cos 145. All right, cool. So now I can list my quadrants. So first quadrant, this will be in the third quadrant, first quadrant, second quadrant. Okay, let me just draw up our class diagram. Right, I'm not worried about that one. It's already acute, so I'm going to leave it. Not worried about that. It's already acute. Okay, so now cos in the third is negative, but it is squared, so it'll still be a positive. So cos squared, to reduce that, we say 225 minus 180, and we get 45, minus, that one I don't have to worry about, it's already acute. Cos in the second is negative, so this will be a negative cos. To reduce that, we say 180 minus 145, and we get 35. Okay, so let's have a look, see here. Special angle, we know how to work that one out. Special, we know how to work that one out. Special, we know how to work that one out. 55 is not special, 35 is not special. So I just want to check, and I've just quickly done it here, if these things are maybe add up to 90, okay? So you can see that 55 plus 35 gives us 90. So these are complementary angles, all right? So that means I can use COCO to cancel them. So let's draw up our little triangles. I'm just going to do them on the top here, guys. So we've got 60, 30, 1, 2, root 3. I'm going to do the 45 one as well because we've got 45s here. Okay, so we've got here 1 over root 3. Sine of 60, opposite over hypotenuse, so that's root 3 over 2, plus a half. Tan 45 is opposite over adjacent, so it's 1 over 1, times by. Now, whatever this is must be squared, so cos of 45, adjacent over hypotenuse, it's 1 over root 2, minus. Okay, so here I've got a positive divided by negative, which gives me a negative, times a negative gives me the positive. Okay, now I'm going to do this on this step here, grade 11s. You can see here that 90 minus 35 will give us 55. So that's what I'm going to do here. So we get sine 90 minus 35 all over cos 35. Okay, and that will give me cos, and then it'll cancel here. So let's work out what this is. Root 3 will cancel root 3, and we just left with a half. Okay, so here we've got 1 squared is 1 times 1 is just 1 over root 2 squared is 2 times 1 is 2 times another 2 is 4 plus, so this is going to be cocoa. Sine will change to cos. So we've got here cos 35 over cos 35. Okay, so I'm just going to, before I work out these two, just work out this. So we get a half plus a quarter plus 1. From there, just plug it on the calculator. And we get a final answer of 7 over 4. So that's not too bad. All right, grade 11s, I would like you to do exercise 7.6, number 7 for me, please. Thank you.